the significance of graduating in 2020? It means your vision is perfect. Or it was perfect until this pandemic thing hit. You knew exactly where you wanted to go and how you were going to get there. Because your vision was perfect. It was 2020. And then things changed, and boy did they ever change. This pandemic has affected so many things in the entire world and in your entire world, as you know it. Graduation is normally a time of looking back and looking forward, looking back at all the great moments in your school life, all of the things that you did with friends. There's usually a favorite teacher or two in the memory mix. Some people want to hang on to what was, feeling a bit tentative to downright scared about the future. That's understandable. Some want to jump gladly into the future, come what may. That's also understandable. And that is what graduation is for. You know, it's to both honor your time in high school, celebrate you for all of the things that you accomplished, and then it's a time to send you into your future. Your parents and your teachers have prepared you well, as best as they can, for what you're going to encounter in the next steps of your journey. Unfortunately, coronavirus has changed a lot of that. Will you be stepping onto the campus of your choice this fall, or will your first classes be done online? It's possible that the career you were planning on pursuing has changed or just vanished due to these circumstances. The things you knew for certain have certainly changed. How you look at those changes and how you handle them will dramatically affect your future. A long time ago, I too was graduating and looking out into the world, wanting to make plans and put my dreams into action. The problem was that for the first time in my life, I was coming to the end of something without something else waiting for me to step into. At the end of middle school, I stepped into high school. At the end of high school, I gleefully and passionately stepped into college. I couldn't wait. At the end of college, I was about to step into a rather large void, a very big pile of nothing. And I had to figure it out. I had to figure out how to fill it. I could feel my post-graduation plans changing, which made me feel very confused. I wanted to be a professional musician, make my living making music. I was very passionate about it. Knew it since 8th grade. 8th grade. What I didn't know was how to go about it after I graduated. I had to pick a place, a city, where I would fit into the music scene. I'll go to Los Angeles, I thought. Nope, too big. New York City, whoa, nope, way too big. Boston, Chicago, nope. I talked to my trombone teacher about it. Pick a place, you just have to start somewhere. I said, I know. Could you tell me where to go? He said, it's not up to me. I know, I just could use a little help. Well, how badly do you want it? I really want it badly, very badly. I've wanted this since 8th grade. Maybe you can do it differently, he said. What do you mean, do it differently? How do I do that? Maybe you need a revision decision. A what? A revision decision. You may have to see things in another way. You may have to revisit what you really want. There are many ways to make music without having to do it for a living. I pondered it. I said it over and over, a revision decision. And I don't know about you, but I hated revision. I hated it. I wanted my first draft to be it. No redos, done. Well, I never made it to LA or New York or Chicago or anywhere else to be a full-time professional musician. But when I looked at what I really wanted, I discovered it didn't include living from job to job, from gig to gig, playing from nightclub to nightclub. And yet, I still make music all the time, even now. The thing I got out of that, revising, rewriting, redoing, re-seeing things, helped me to adapt and get the most out of the challenges in my life. Still does. What about you? What kind of revising or re-seeing might you have to do because the way things turned out because of this pandemic? No prom, no formal in-person ceremony, awards programs, no hugs or high fives from your favorite teachers and friends. You might be feeling angry and disappointed about not being able to have those things the way you imagined it. I get it. So do your parents, your teachers, your principal. We all get it, and we all wanted those things for you the way you wanted it. You know, it might feel like you're not really graduating, and yet you have the power to see it differently, to revision all of that. Your diploma's still going to come. Eventually, you'll still have that party. There are a million ways to get another chance to say goodbye or thank you to your friends and teachers. Just last week, a former student reached out asking where she could get a clarinet. She had sold hers after college. The thing that mattered to me was that she told me some of her favorite memories from school were the ones she had in band. I felt really honored that she reached out to me and that she told me that, and that somehow we made those memories special for her. Reach out to your teachers in a different way. Reach out to your friends in a different way. It won't be the same as saying goodbye after graduation, but it will mean just as much, if not more. Be willing to re-see your dreams and revisit and decide what is most important to you, and then recommit. The most important thing is that you don't stand here in the present looking back with regret for the things you wish you would have done. These are challenging times. Difficult times. These are hard times. But there are good things happening in the world too. Innovation and creation are moving at light speed, and you will be a part of that. People are connecting differently and in meaningful ways, in some ways far better than the ways that we connected in the not too distant past. The best part is that the world is looking to the graduating class of 2020 with your perfect vision to make a difference like no other class before you. The world is waiting for you. Things may look different, that's okay. If your dreams are the same after graduating in these times, recommit to them with as much energy as you can. If your dreams are somehow different than before all this happened, commit to those new dreams with as much energy as you can. Remember, standing here looking out into your future with your past in the rearview mirror, you might have to make a revision decision in 2020. And then go for it. Graduates of the class of 2020, the world is waiting for you. Congratulations.
This is for all you soon-to-be high school graduates out there who are facing one of the biggest changes we've seen in an awful long time. You put in the time, you passed your tests, you're ready to graduate high school. It's time for that ceremony. You get to walk across the stage. They hand you the diploma. You hear your name read. Your family's out there snapping pictures. They applaud. You move the tassel on your cap over to the other side and you're a high school graduate. But this virus business has isolated us and caused tremendous change in an enormously short time. Things have changed and none of that stuff I just described is going to be there for you. And in talking to some high school seniors, I see they're quite bummed out and a little bit depressed about it, because something has changed and changed so dramatically in such a short time. But let's talk about that change just for a second. Change isn't new to you. Look at all the different ways clothes have changed in just the 5 years in junior high and high school. Your hairstyle changed. The music changed. Everything changed. And let me tell you something, change is going to be your constant companion for the rest of your life. When I teach a healthcare course at the local university, I tell them medicine and healthcare is changing very rapidly. And what you are studying for today, the field you anticipate going into, it's going to be different by the time you get there. And the same thing I say to you, whatever you think you're going to do is going to be different by the time you get there. Not only that, but once you finally get into an occupation, it's going to keep changing over the years. I've seen it in everything. And in your generation, it's going to change faster and faster and faster than it did in our generation. In fact, it changed so much that sometimes a whole field disappears. It's gone. Punch card operators, many of you don't know what that is, but that used to be a career to punch holes in cards that were fed into computers, which we didn't keep on our lap because they required reel-to-reel tapes in huge rooms kept at a constant temperature. What a change. What a welcome change that is. Now I know you're disappointed you didn't get the prom, that last meal at school with everybody laughing it up and everything else. How, you might think, are you going to keep up with friends? Well, it's been my experience that even if you have all those old-fashioned stuff happen, the only people you're going to keep up with, you will keep up with anyway, without a graduation. Those are your true friends. They're going to be with you. I have friends like that from high school. You know, Winston Churchill said, if you want to get better at something, you're going to have to change. And if you really want to get perfect at it, you're going to have to change a lot. I used to love to run. I was a runner, just not competitive, just for myself. I enjoyed it. And then a nerve damage partially paralyzed one of my legs. I could no longer run. I got very depressed. What was I going to do? This was a change I couldn't accept. Without legs, how could I exercise and enjoy something? Well, it took a little while, but I found sea kayaking. And now I have something I can do year-round out here on our big lake. That was a change, and I adapted to it. Now, with all the changes in video work, Facebook, etc., you can do a graduation online for your family and friends. You can all visit each other online. And you can continue to do something, as I suspect you will. And that's a big change from when I graduated high school. So change is not necessarily bad, but it's for certain. Well, you know, we started out with this question of, without the ceremony, without the cap and gown, did you really graduate? What's so important about that gown? Well, it's symbolic. Do you know where it came from? At one time, a couple hundred years ago, when they were graduating, it was cold, so they started wearing long robes. They didn't have the good heating system. And that evolved into the cap and gown we wear today. So, without the ceremony, did you graduate high school? I can assure you, you did. You are a high school graduate, and congratulations. And going forward, I charge you with making change for the better. Good luck to you all.